Hello students, this is the part of 3 Nature of Matter. In this video, we will learn about mass, density, pressure, buoyancy, change of state of matter and sublimation. So first of all, we do one activity. You take an empty bottle. Is the empty bottle that is really empty? It is filled with air. How? Fix a balloon. You take a balloon, fix a balloon to its neck of the bottle. Place the bottle in a vessel or a container, hot water container. Next, what do you find that balloon gets inflated? Yes. Why is balloon inflated, students? Because that the air in the bottle expands when its temperature rises. Water temperature rises. Take the bottle out of hot water and allow it to cool. After, when bottle is cooled, you see that when the air in the bottle is cooled, the balloon is deflated. You can see in the picture, students, that air contracts on cooling. From this activity, we can say that solids, liquids and gases are expanded when heated. Understand, students? Next is change of states of matter. When an object is heated, there will be a rise in its hotness. Just I will say that. The state of matter changes due to heat. How? For example, like an ice cube. When we heat, it becomes a water. Means it's converted into a water. And water, when we heat, it converts into water vapor. And water vapor, when cooling, they becomes water. And water, when we cooling, means when we kept in a refrigerator, it becomes a ice. Matter can change from one state to another state. Means solid to liquid, liquid to gas. The process by which a solid changes to liquid is called a melting. The process by which a liquid changes into a vapor is called evaporation. The process by which a gas changes into a liquid on cooling is called condensation. The process by which liquid changes into a solid is called freezing. Matter change its state from one form to another form due to heat. Means matter, any states of matter, it's a solid, liquid or a gas. When we heat, they are changed from one state to another state. For example, solid change, when we heat solid, it's changed into liquid state, and liquid, when we heat, it's changed into gaseous state. This is called a change in state of substance. On heating, many solids change into liquid state. Effects of heat on a matter, that depends upon the level of hotness. On increasing in the heat, solid changes into liquid and liquid changes into gas. In the same way, we can say that on cooling, gas converted into, means changes into liquid state, and liquid is changes into solid state. For example, just I will say that ice cube. Understand, students? Next is sublimation. What is sublimation? First of all, we do an experiment, students. Take a few naphthalene balls in an evaporating dish. Close it with a glass funnel as shown in the picture. Take some cotton and close the other end of the funnel with a cotton. Heat the dish slowly. Naphthalene balls converts into milky vapor and will be collected in the inner side of the funnel. And stop heating and observe what happens. So students, first of all, you take a naphthalene balls and kept in a evaporating dish or a china dish, and take a one glass funnel and kept on the evaporating dish that funnel, and close the mouth of the funnel with the cotton and start heating that evaporating dish slowly. When you start heating, the naphthalene balls are converted into milky vapor and they are collect inside the funnel. After stop heating, you can observe that small white crystals are present inside the funnel. Sublimation. We know that on heating, the solids are converted first into liquid and then into vapor state. Similarly, on cooling, the vapors are converted first into liquid and then into solid. But some solids on heating directly, they change to their vapor state and without passing through the liquid state. The change of state from solid to vapor directly or from vapor to solid without passing through the liquid state, that process is called a sublimation. Some solids, for example, like camphor, iodine, ammonium chloride, when we heat directly, they pass on to vapor state without becoming the liquid state. Means they are changed from vapor to solid and solid to vapor state. So all these substances are called sublimates. The process in which a solid changes directly into gaseous state on heating is called a sublimation. Next is mass. Mass is the total quantity of matter in a given object or a substance. The mass is measured using a physical balance or a common balance. You can see, students, here that is the olden type of common balance, and these are the modern techniques of the physical balances or a common balances. The SI unit of mass is kilogram. SI means international system. The SI unit of mass is kilogram, means kg. Means the mass is depend upon quantity of matter. If quantity of matter is more, they showing more weight. If the quantity of matter is less, they showing less weight. Understand, students? For example, like 1000 milligram equal to 1 gram, 1000 gram equal to 1 kg, 100 kg equal to 1 quintal, and 1000 kg equal to 1 ton. Next is density. Density is the amount of mass contained in a unit volume. Generally, density of solid is more than that of the liquid, and the density liquid is more than that of the gas. So the density depends on two factors. One is mass of each particle and compactness of arrangement of these particles. Suppose, students, we take 3 beakers, like one is 25 ml beaker. In first beaker is a very empty, and second beaker filled with water, and third beaker filled with iron fillings. Okay. Afterwards, we weigh each beaker on the balance, weighing balance. Do all the 3 beakers show the same mass? No, they do not show the same mass. Each of beaker shows different mass because of the total number of particles contained in them. The particles are more densely packed in iron fillings than that of water. And this is because density of iron is more than that of water, and density of water is more than that of air. With this example, we can define that density is the amount of mass contained in a unit volume. The SI unit of density is gram per cubic centimeter or kilogram per cubic meter. Understand, students? Means the density is depend upon two factors. One is mass of each particle and compactness of arrangement of these particles. For one more example, I show here in the picture, students. You take a one beaker, water and oil. Okay, and you fill the beaker with water and oil. You can see in the images that oil drops, they do not sink, but they can float easily on the water of the surface. Why, students, that oil drops, they do not mix with water, they can float on the surface of water? Because the density of oil is less than the water. Means the density of oil is less, so it can float easily on the surface of the water. Means molecules of oil are bigger than that of water molecules, therefore they do not mix easily and they can float easily on the surface of the water. Next is pressure. Pressure is the force exerted on an unit area. So we do one activity, students. You know that like solid, liquid and gases are also made up of matter, and liquid and gases have a weight and exerts pressure on the wall of the container where they are stored. We do one activity, students. You take a tall tin can, drill 3 small holes on one below another, all of equal diameter on its wall. These holes must be at equal distance to each other. Place the tin on a flat rectangular tray or a circular tray. Block all the 3 holes using with the fingers of both your hands and ask someone to fill water in the tin almost to its brim. Take your hands off and holes and observe what happens. You can observe that water flow out of the tin through all the holes. Water start flowing out through the lowest hole, come out with the greatest pressure. We know this, the jet of water coming out through the lowest hole, it falls furthest. Water that flow out through the third, means highest, has the least pressure. How do we can say that, students? As the level of water in the tin decreases, the pressure of water flowing out also decreases. So from this activity we can say that the pressure at any point in a liquid depends on the depth at that point in the liquid, and pressure in a liquid increases with the depth. Pressure is greatest at the deepest point. Understand, students? Next is buoyancy. Buoyancy. When an object is immersed in water, it exerts a downward force. Downward force means downside, okay, on water, and the water in turn exerts an upward, means they push upward side in the water force or upward thrust on the object. If the upward force exerted on the object is more than the downward force, then the object float. This upward force exerted is called a buoyancy. Means some examples or some objects which can float on the surface of the water. Why? Because when an object is immersed in a water, it efforts downward force on water, and the water in turn exerts an upward force or a upthrust on the object. The upthrust is equal to the mass of the liquid which displaced. It is this upthrust that keeps a body or an object can float. This upthrust is called the force of buoyancy. For example, a well-practiced swimmer can float on the surface of water without swimming. Another examples like paper, dry leaf, wooden plank, straw, they are easily float on the surface of the water. For example, here we see that in the picture or an image, the upward force of water, another liquid or air that keeps things means here we take a wooden plank which can float on the surface of the water. So students, I hope you understand that lesson. So once again you read that lesson, do the activities that completed our that 13th lesson, nature of matter. In the next video we can study about question answers on that lesson. Thank you students.